Good morning. It is Wednesday. I'm Jason DeRusha. Welcome to the CBSN Minnesota Morning Update. A little more serious news to cover today in the update as we continue grappling and trying to understand exactly how it was that what happened in Buffalo yesterday did happen. Many questions still. Our reporting continues, but let's get you up to date on the weather, and we'll have some fun here in the morning update as well. The weather, I don't know. I mean, even if you like cold weather, I don't know that this is much fun. It is currently 2 below. We're going to get up to about, what was Riley's high for today? 7? I think 7. It'll be 5 at noon. Not much change. I don't know. It's warmer than it was. So we're in this stretch where it's going to be sub-zero temperatures throughout most of the day, and that stretch continues until, I hate to say it, at least Tuesday. So it's kind of the same deal. We're just stuck in this pattern. Speaking of that cold weather, I think this is a debate playing out in many homes right now. It's about the thermostat. Our furnace is getting a workout, right? The temps right around or well below zero. I hope your furnace hasn't failed during all of this. But maybe you crank up the heat a little more than usual just because of that chill you're feeling outside. So Jeff Wagner, who is the new good question guy, Heather does 1 good question a week, Jeff does 2. Jeff went asking, what is the perfect at-home temperature right now? Centerpoint says when you're home, 68 to 70 is about the right range. But if you're gone, you should drop that sucker down to 60, 62 to save money. What do you do overnight? Where do you set your thermostat at? Do you set it like Jeff did and then Annie comes right behind you and turns it up to 80? Annie, my gosh, clearly not paying the heating bills here at CCO. What do you keep your thermostat at? It's a debate. Do you guys fight about it? Let me know. Leave a comment on the WCCO TV Facebook page. We'll read through some of your thermostat stories in just a moment. 1 person is dead this morning. 4 others are hurt after a shooting inside that health clinic right outside the metro in Buffalo. This is 67-year-old Gregory Ulrich. He is from Buffalo, and investigators say this guy has been a thorn in the side of the town and of this clinic, a Allina clinic in Buffalo, for some time. They say he opened fire just before 11 yesterday morning. Police say they've been dealing with this guy over and over for nearly 2 decades. And police do tell us that he had a history of being unhappy with the health care he received. What exactly that means, we don't know yet. 5 people taken to hospitals after the attack. 1 has died. 3 of the victims, at last report last night, were in critical condition. We're told those 3 have stabilized at least, so that is a positive sign. 1 victim was discharged, so sent home. Witnesses described really a terrifying scene, right? You're at your family doctor's office, and all of a sudden it becomes a nightmare.
I called 911, and I just said that where I was and that there was a man with a gun and he was shooting, and that I was hiding.
Police tell us they did find suspicious packages and devices in both the clinic and in the Super 8 where Ulrich was staying. So they brought in the Minneapolis bomb squad. We don't know much about the nature of these devices. Initially, there was a report that there was an explosion at the clinic before the shooting. We don't know if that is true or not, if that happened or not. They found devices. What were they? Lots of questions. There's no question about this, so this is tough for this community of 15,000 people and emotional for the chief of police who spoke yesterday.
This is a day that no community would want to go through. We would not, especially those staff that were there, of course those that were injured, the families of those that were injured. Our thoughts and prayers are with them.
This is Ulrich's former home. It's a mobile home park in Buffalo. Authorities swarmed that area. You know, the concern is there a cache of weapons? Are there explosive devices there? They swept the house with canines. As far as we know, well, I shouldn't say that. We don't really know what they found. Those who knew him say that Ulrich had just recently moved out of that home. Police do tell us their contact with him dates back to 2003. So that's quite a long time. They also tell us that at age 67, he did have a history of being unhappy with the health care he received. One of his former neighbors told us he had a sign, handwritten sign in his home window, kind of complaining about Alina and a specific doctor. So lots of questions still. We expect to learn more today, and Ulrich is expected to be in court tomorrow morning. Some good news for you from South Minneapolis. A store reopening today, 9 months after it was essentially put out of business because of the unrest surrounding the death of George Floyd. Cub Foods ready to welcome back customers on Lake Street. That store severely damaged by people who went in there to make trouble, right? Some people stealing stuff, others just, destroying the displays and the aisles of the products. Cub did launch a temporary product in this tent, so they were able to have a pharmacy for the neighborhood, serve food to the neighborhood. This is the main grocery store in that area. It's right across the street from the police precincts. But, while this was up, Cub was working hard with contractors to get this thing back up and running and really to re-envision what the grocery store meant to the neighborhood. They've been sharing updates on their Facebook page the past few weeks, from rebuilding to restocking, and it's all come together. The new store opened at 6 this morning, so congratulations to the neighborhood in having that. And there is another Cub in North Minneapolis that'll reopen the first week of April, and that Cub's going to be renamed North Side Cub, which the store says came out of discussions with people in the neighborhood. So that's good news too. We love Barb. We love Barb. She's the Minnesota grandmother who basically saved the day after the Amber Alert on Saturday. And now she's being honored for helping police find that little boy who was taken from his family.
I, Jacob Fry, Mayor of the City of Minneapolis, do hereby proclaim February 9th, 2021 as Barb Gussy Day in the City of Minneapolis.
Oh, how great is that, right? Barb Gussy, right there in Brooklyn Center. Saturday, she saw this white Jeep running in the parking lot of a church. She thought that was kind of weird, and then her phone went off with the Amber Alert that was pushed to the phone. She looked at the license plate on the phone, got out her bird-watching binoculars, and noticed the license plate matched. She called 911. Police showed up, opened the door, got the boy out, and he's okay, back with his family. I was out there Saturday talking to Barb and chatted with her again on Monday. She's just so humble and doesn't think she did anything special. But what she did is tell all of us that as ordinary people, you can step up and say something when you notice something unusual, and she saved a life. She did. So we salute her yesterday, Barb Gussy Day in Minneapolis. Pretty cool. Local nonprofit group is leading the way to change the name of a Minnesota city. This is a very interesting debate. It's been going on for decades, and it's the name Coon Rapids. Historians believe the name, you see the logo there, the raccoon. It was known as a place where landowners could hunt raccoons in the 1800s. I think there's a dam up there called Coon Dam or Coon Lake. But that word has another connotation, a racial slur. And so what's the right thing to do in 2021? A nonprofit called Transformative Circle surveyed residents, workers, people with a connection to Coon Rapids, and about a third of them said they do want to change the city's name. We'll see what the city does. River Rapids is a popular name that's been brought up as an alternative, but 1/3 wanting to change does show obviously there is resistance to changing the name of that town. Ice fishermen on Lake Superior had a surprise waiting for them. When they tried returning to shore, they couldn't get off the ice. That's a surprise. You're out on the ice with there are 26 people out there, as you do. And the ice sheet they were on broke off and became sort of a raft. And apparently nobody noticed until it was time to come back to shore. This happens out on Lake Superior, right? There's a lot of currents going on underneath the ice. That's why ice, especially on rivers and lakes, a big lake like the Great Lake, it's a little deceiving, right? They were rescued. They got back to land safely. And this is the second time that we've talked about this sort of thing happening over the last 2 weeks, I think. Try to look around if you're out on the lake. Try to notice if you're, I don't know, all of a sudden it feels like you're floating. It's probably not that you've had too much to drink. You may be floating. All right, let's talk about thermometer temperatures, thermostat temperatures. I should see what the thermostat is at the DeRusha house right now. I've got one of these Honeywell thermostats where you can control it. I can really mess with my family. Currently it's 68 degrees, looks like. Heat set at 68. So that's where we are during the day, 68. At night we go down to 60. Maggie doesn't mess with the thermostat. When it's cold, she just piles on the blankets. Yep, smart Maggie. That's what I tell the kids. Alana goes at 68. Yeah, 68's fine. That's good. Brad, 68. You guys are following the recommendation. We had a bunch of people saving money. Melanie Daniels, she don't care. Melanie's going to 70 all winter. Yep. I will confess, I like to be at 60 overnight, and sometimes that's too cold. I set it at 60. It never gets down that cold. Lori's at 65. Lori, you just wearing the long underwear? 65's a little chilly, right? Here's Joanne, 68 during the day, 62 at night. Got a lot of frugal folks here in the morning update. I like it. Renee, 66. Renee Morales. That's cold, Renee. 66. There you go, Suzanne. Suzanne values her comfort. Suzanne, here's the thing. You deserve it. Consistent 73 all day and all night. You know, hey, as long as your gas bill isn't driving you nuts and, you know, it's not a big fight in your household. That's what I think is interesting. My desire for a cool house conflicts with my wife's desire for a warm house. You know, who's going to win? It's not going to be me. It's the morning update from CBSN Minnesota. We are your only local streaming news source. We're glad to have you with us. We'll see you again tomorrow.